July 1996. Inside a factory in Bendigo, Australia, a strange-looking armoured vehicle rolled off the production line. It didn't look heroic, it didn't look fast, and it definitely didn't look cool. Soldiers joked that it looked like a tacky armoured school bus. It was tall, bulky, flat-faced and awkward. Critics inside the military called it overpriced, overbuilt and years behind schedule. The project had nearly been cancelled multiple times, and by the time production finally started, costs had exploded far beyond the original budget. Most people thought the vehicle was a mistake. They were wrong, because over the next 2 decades, this tacky machine would survive more than 140 confirmed bomb strikes across multiple war zones, with 0 crew fatalities inside the hull. No tank, no helicopter, no armoured truck of the post-9/11 era would build a survival record quite like the Bushmaster protected mobility vehicle. And the reason starts with one brutal reality: roadside bombs. Back in the late 1980s, Australia feared attacks across its massive northern coastline. The army needed a vehicle capable of carrying soldiers across extreme terrain for days without support, in temperatures hotter than 50 degrees Celsius. At the same time, Australian peacekeepers returning from Africa had seen something revolutionary. South African forces fighting mine wars had developed vehicles with V-shaped hulls that redirected explosions away from the crew compartment. Instead of the blast travelling upward into soldiers, it was pushed outward. That idea became the heart of the Bushmaster. Everything about the vehicle was built around survival. Its entire steel hull was shaped like a giant armoured V. Its fuel systems were mounted outside the crew cabin. It had reinforced escape hatches, fire suppression systems, bullet-resistant windows, and air conditioning powerful enough to keep troops operational in desert heat for hours. The Bushmaster wasn't designed to look intimidating. It was designed to bring soldiers home alive. Then came Iraq. In 2005, Bushmasters rolled into some of the most dangerous regions in southern Iraq, where improvised explosive devices were becoming the deadliest weapon of the war. Lighter vehicles were being torn apart. The Bushmaster kept surviving. But Afghanistan would become its true test. By 2007, Australian troops were using Bushmasters in Uruzgan province, one of the most dangerous places on Earth at the time. Roads were packed with hidden explosives, and Taliban fighters had already learned which coalition vehicles could be destroyed easily. The Bushmaster changed that calculation. Again and again, these vehicles were blasted by buried bombs powerful enough to flip armoured trucks into the air. And again, soldiers walked out alive. One Australian soldier, Corporal David Nicholson, survived not 1, not 2, but 3 separate roadside bomb attacks while riding inside Bushmasters. 3 explosions, 3 survivals. Then came the incident that cemented the Bushmasters' legendary reputation. July 2013, Uruzgan province. An Australian patrol vehicle rolled over a massive hidden explosive buried beneath the road. The blast detonated directly under the front wheel. Inside was Private Matthew Clark and 5 other soldiers. The explosion shattered bones, ripped the rear door open, and nearly launched the 15-ton vehicle off the ground. By all logic, nobody should have survived, but every single soldier inside lived. The damaged Bushmaster was later recovered, repaired, and preserved in Australia's National War Memorial. Workers at the Bendigo factory even named one of their robotic welding machines after that vehicle. They called her Debbie. And Australia wasn't the only country paying attention. Dutch forces in Afghanistan quickly adopted the Bushmaster after realising their existing vehicles couldn't survive the growing bomb threat. Within weeks of testing it, they rushed Bushmasters directly into combat. The results stunned them. Vehicles were hit by gunfire, mortars, rockets, and roadside bombs, yet crews kept surviving. At one point, a Dutch Bushmaster was so badly damaged in combat that an Apache helicopter had to destroy it to stop it from being captured. But every soldier inside had already escaped safely. Then came Ukraine. In 2022, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky personally requested Bushmasters from Australia by name. Within days, Australia began shipping them into the war zone. Ukrainian paratroopers later used them during the lightning-fast Kharkiv counteroffensive, advancing across shattered terrain while surviving artillery blasts and mine strikes that would have destroyed lesser vehicles. Many soldiers started calling the Bushmaster a home on wheels. Today, more than 9 nations operate the Bushmaster. Hundreds more are still being built. The vehicle, once mocked as tacky, became one of the most survivable troop carriers ever created. Because the engineers behind it understood something many military designers forget. Real protection isn't about looking powerful, it's about keeping people alive. And the Bushmaster did exactly that. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from.